I didn't die in the car crash. I almost died in the 10 minutes after the car crash, because that's when the real danger started. The car was smoking, the tires were shredded, and I was seconds away from a full-blown panic attack that would have left me stranded and helpless. The only thing that saved me wasn't a seatbelt or an airbag. It was a single, simple psychological trick, a 10-second rule that I'm going to show you how to use right now. Most people think psychology is just about therapy or analyzing dreams. They think it's soft, academic, and only useful when things are calm. That's the common take, but I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Psychology is a survival tool. It's a practical, real-world skill that can be the difference between a minor crisis and a total mental breakdown. I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened that night, the mental trap I fell into, and the 10-second rule that pulled me out of it. By the end of this video, you'll have the same tool to use the next time your life, or just your day, goes completely sideways. Let me set the scene. I was coming back from a long work trip. I was already running on fumes, exhausted, and just wanted to be home. The highway was empty, which is usually a good thing, but that night it felt isolating. I was in the fast lane, probably going a little too fast, when I saw it. A piece of debris, maybe a blown tire from a truck, just sitting there. It was too late to brake fully. I yanked the wheel hard to the left. The next few seconds were pure chaos. The car was sideways, the tires were screaming, and the world was just a blur of black asphalt and white lines. I remember the smell of burning rubber and the terrifying feeling of being completely out of control. Then silence. I was stopped, thankfully on the shoulder, facing the wrong way. The engine was ticking, and a thin stream of smoke was rising from the hood. Physically, I was fine. A little shaken, but fine. But the mental damage was just beginning. My heart was hammering against my ribs, my hands were shaking so badly I couldn't grip the steering wheel. And then the thoughts started. They weren't rational thoughts, they were a flood of pure, unadulterated panic. I almost died. I could have caused a massive pileup. What if I'm stranded here all night? I'm gonna have to call my family and tell them I totaled the car. The fear wasn't about the debris anymore. It was about the story I was telling myself about the debris. I was spiraling. I was seconds away from a full-blown panic attack, the kind where you can't breathe, you can't think, and you just collapse into tears. The physical danger was gone, but the mental danger was taking over. I was about to make a series of terrible decisions out of pure, raw emotion. I was about to lose control of my mind. In that moment, right as the panic was peaking, a single, clear voice cut through the noise. It wasn't a real voice, it was the voice of a principle I'd learned. The 10-second rule. I had to stop everything. The 10-second rule is a simple tool for cognitive reframing. It's designed to interrupt the amygdala, the part of your brain that handles fear and panic, and force the prefrontal cortex, the part that handles logic and decision-making, back online. Here's what I did. I didn't try to calm down. I didn't try to think happy thoughts. I just forced myself to stop. I closed my eyes and started counting. 1. I felt the steering wheel under my shaken hands. 2. I heard the engine ticking as it cooled. 3. I focused on the smell of the smoke. 4. I noticed the cold air on my face. 5. My heart was still racing, but I didn't fight it. 6. I was just counting. 7. Just existing in the moment. 8. The catastrophic thoughts were still there, but they were quieter. They were losing their grip. 9. They were losing their grip. 10. When I opened my eyes, the world hadn't changed. The car was still smoking, and I was still stranded. But I had changed. The paralyzing, immediate panic was gone. The adrenaline was still there, but it was manageable. I had bought myself 10 seconds of mental clarity. And in that 10 seconds, I was able to ask the only question that mattered. What is the next, smallest, most useful step I can take right now? Not, why did this happen? Not, what if I died? But what is the next step? The answer was simple. Turn on the hazard lights. That was it. One small, useful step. Then the next step. Check the tires. Then the next. Call for roadside assistance. That 10-second pause saved me from a mental collapse and allowed me to handle the practical crisis like a rational adult, not a terrified child. That's the day psychology saved my life. Now, you're probably thinking, that's a great story, but my life isn't a high-speed car crash. And you're right. But your life is full of mini crashes every single day, and the same psychological tool works for all of them. The problem, we all experience the amygdala hijack. This is when a small trigger, a rude email, a fight with your partner, a moment of intense self-doubt, sends your brain into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, your thoughts spiral, and you say or do something you instantly regret. The problem isn't the trigger. It's your brain's automatic emotional overreaction to it. You send the angry reply, you quit the gym, you lash out at the person you love, you sabotage your own life because you didn't give your rational brain a chance to catch up. Here's the solution, the 10-second rule for daily life. This isn't about counting to 10 while you're angry. It's about forcing a cognitive interrupt. Here's how you use it. 1. Identify the trigger. The moment you feel that physical shift, the heat in your chest, the tightness in your jaw, the sudden urge to scream or run, that's your signal. 2. Stop all action. Do not speak, do not type, do not move. Just stop. 3. Engage a neutral sense. For 10 seconds, focus on something completely neutral. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the feeling of your feet on the floor, the color of the wall, or the sound of the air conditioning. This simple sensory focus forces your brain to shift gears. 4. Ask the rational question. After 10 seconds, the panic has subsided just enough for you to ask, what is the next, smallest, most useful step I can take right now? Maybe the most useful step is to walk away. Maybe it's to write a draft of the angry email and save it for tomorrow. Maybe it's just to take a deep breath. The key is that you are now choosing your action, not reacting to your emotion. This is the power of cognitive reframing. You're not changing the event, you're changing your brain's immediate catastrophic interpretation of the event. You are literally saving yourself from your own worst instincts. The story of the car crash is dramatic, but the lesson is universal. Psychology isn't a luxury, it's a mental toolkit, and the simplest tools are often the most powerful. The 10-second rule is your emergency brake. It's the pause button that gives your rational mind a fighting chance against your emotional panic. It's the difference between a life where you are constantly reacting to chaos and a life where you are calmly choosing your response. You don't need a degree to use this. You just need to remember that when everything is spinning out of control, you have the power to stop the mental spin. Just count to 10. Focus on the neutral, and then choose your next, smallest, most useful step. That's how psychology saves your life. One 10-second pause at a time. If you want more practical, real-world psychology tools like this, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see the next video where I break down the biggest mental mistake people make every morning, click the video on the screen now.